Just saying. Hey everybody, Luxinda Swirl here. Welcome to my Paper and Other Obsessions channel. Thank you for joining me. I am going to try something today that I recently saw on another channel I follow called Treasure Books. Absolutely love that channel. She's great. She's taught me a lot of stuff about paper crafting, and I will link to her channel below. What she was doing was basically making your own DIY version of rice paper. Now I have a bunch of rice paper here already because I use it to wrap around tumblers on the other channel, but I was intrigued by the idea that you could sort of make your own using things like tissue paper and napkins. So we're going to try some pieces today and see how they look. And I'm hoping that especially this one, the napkins I got, are able to create something that's rice papery and substantial enough that I can use it on the other channel on a tumbler as a wrap. That's one goal, but I just want to see how this works. Basic premise is you are going to soak these thin, delicate papers with a solution of glue and water. When the glue and water dries, it makes the papers more translucent but also more substantial. That's it in a nutshell. So anyway, I need to mix up my glue solution. I was going to do this off camera, but then I thought, well, it's kind of most of what the video is about. So I'll do it here. I swear to you that somewhere in my house, I have a big bottle of generic, probably Dollar Tree purchased PVA glue, or what we here in the States call school glue, white glue. Your basic Elmer's, except off-brand, obviously. And I can't I spent an hour yesterday trying to find that damn bottle of glue. Couldn't do it, and I thought, oh, all right, well, I know where the Mod Podge is, so that's what I'm going to use, even though this is not exactly PVA glue. It should work, I'm hoping, about the same. Okay, so I have a condiment bottle here. These are 50 cents at Dollar Tree. Don't know what two for $1.25 now, whatever that works out to. And I'm gonna use a funnel so I don't spill Mod Podge all over my table. We are going for a ratio of 2/3 to 1/3. So 2 parts Mod Podge or 2 parts PVA glue, whatever you have. If you have Elmer's glue, if you have school glue, 2 parts of that to 1 part water or some other solution. When I watched Treasure Books recently, she used a coffee solution, but she did say that because it has coffee in it, you can't keep it indefinitely. It will go bad because it's got enough of some food product in it that it will go bad. But I'm going to use water, which will just be diluted glue, so it won't go bad. Her reason for using the coffee was, of course, to make it look sort of aged. This is just distilled water I bought at Walmart. This is 2 parts. I'm going to try and do this. This is 2 parts here. We're going to go about here with water. Very rough calculation. Since I'm clearly not bothering to measure anything. Oh, and the other thing I want to do, she used coffee. I explained why I'm not going to do that. But it occurred to me, I have Brusho crystals, and these don't contain food products. So we're going to put in just a couple of crystals. This is dark brown, and I think we'll either get nothing or we might get something that looks like it was maybe, coffee stained. Helps if you get it in the bottle. Just saying. I don't want it to be a dark brown or anything. I was just thinking it might add a, slightly vintagey, antique sort of look to it that she was going for with coffee staining. All right, well, that's not even a milk chocolate shake or anything. It will do. So what I'm going to do is put down some wax paper. She used completely unfolded cereal box bag, the inner bags, which are basically wax paper. So I'm not going to do a whole lot of these. I will do 1 napkin and 1 piece of tissue paper and then bring you back after it's dried just to see how they look. Let's start with our napkin. I thought these were really pretty. They have a whole, as you can imagine, mess of choices of cocktail napkins on Amazon. These are 3 ply, so the first thing I have to do is get the plies separated here. I'm pretty sure they're 3 ply. Let's see if it tells me on the package. Now you can also do the same thing with these, and it would end up being a piece of white rice paper. Yep, 3 ply. Okay, so I've got another ply to go here. This, and there we go. Sort of like starting a piece of vinyl. getting the backing off. Just need to get the corner going. So what we're going to do is we're going to get this soaking wet with our solution. Not drenched, but thoroughly infused with the liquid. We're going to start by getting the wax paper wet first. Okay, I'll just disperse this all around here. Good, tore it already. It's all right. She even showed how you can fix tears, so looks like I'll be needing that. And the reason you want to keep your brush wet, so when you do have a tear, is you want to smush all the bits together and make sure there's glue in there, because when it dries, it will actually bandage the tear if I do a decent job here. Now, I grant you, she did not use a squeezy bottle like I am. She made a jar up and she dipped her brush in it. I'm doing a lot more liberal liquid application because I'm impatient. Okay, that's definitely all wet. Her other suggestion that makes sense to me, I haven't done this yet, but she said if you let it dry like this, when you're trying to lift up the basically flat edges and corners, you might end up having to get a razor blade or an X-Acto knife involved to sort of slice it apart from the wax paper. Her suggestion was to go around with your brush and kind of scrunch up the edges just a little bit with the brush. And that way it'll dry with basically a little edge to it, a lip almost. And that makes it a little easier to separate. And she showed an example and have a much easier time pulling it up off the wax paper when it is dry. Now, this isn't a particularly beautiful example because I've managed to leave all these creases in here because I didn't put it down very carefully in the beginning. My very first time doing it, so I'm not surprised I'm making a total mess of things. I am going to put this one aside, and then we will go on to trying the tissue paper. Okay, should we do the feathers or the putty tats? I have more of the feathers, so if I'm going to botch this up, let's do it on a feather one. Okay. Do our scrunchy edge thing here. Another thing I thought of that I was going to try and then totally forgot when I started recording just now is I was going to try this on a silicone sheet instead of the wax paper. I mean, she was being very frugal when she, deconstructed a cereal bag. So I get that. That's a great idea. She had to use a little bit of finesse to peel it off. And we all know I'm not real big on finesse. So maybe silicone would have made more sense for me. And I'm going to put this on a pan and I'm going to set it aside to dry. And I will bring you back when everything's dried and we can start trying to peel it off and see how it turned out. And we're back. Okay, these have dried. Let us see if we can remove them from the wax paper. I think. All right, we have a little bit of a tear here. It doesn't want to come up, so I'm going to see if I can, finesse it off of here. Don't know that I can. I think if I do this again, yep, I'm tearing this too, I will indeed go for a silicone mat. I wonder if it peels off this way better. Well, I mean, this is okay, but you can still see the wax paper. This is like when your washi tape starts to tear on the roll, and no matter what you do, you can't get it all to join up again and tear correctly. So basically you go through the whole roll, pulling off bits of it, and it's wasted. I don't know if anybody else has ever experienced that, but I sure have. Just out of curiosity, let's see if this one comes off any more easily. This is the tissue paper. So maybe this will work better, maybe it won't. All right, yeah, okay, that worked much better. This is a little dried glue hangout or overhang here. We just take that off. That's pretty cool. Would I wrap this particular thing on a cup? I guess I might. I really wanted to use this graphic though. So I think given the problems I had with this, I'm gonna do what I just said. So, whoops, 2 napkins. Just want one. Get the first ply off easily. Yep, there it is. Press paper solution. Okay, so we have our glue down, and I'm going to try and lay this out nice and flat. And now leave this out to dry, bring it back when it's dried. We'll see if this comes off more easily. It should, but we'll find out. Stay tuned. And we're back. Okay, this is thoroughly dried. Let's see if this comes off a little more easily and leaves me without anything but the toughened up rice paper napkin. Definitely easier to remove. All right, so that part worked. I might have missed a couple of spots with glue. This is just paper here, this white bit. So that's just the napkin. I'm going to have to go over that with some more of the solution. And anywhere else that it looks white, same situation. But this looks great. This is what I was hoping for. I don't mind the slightly bumpy texture it picks up from the silicone mat. I don't mind that at all. And I don't know exactly how I'm going to do yet. Obviously, this will show up on the other channel if I decide to wrap it around a tumbler. I could use 1 block as a graphic, or I could use 2. And we will be using the ones we've done here in this video for other purposes on this channel. So this isn't the last you've seen of these. Stay safe, everyone. I'll see you in the next video.